Hey ladies, I just woke up from a very glorious nap and I did apply fresh lipstick, but I didn't touch my hair at all. I figured I would leave my bed head and keep it a little Einstein-y today because I'm introducing a new video series that I'm going to try to do roughly once a week on Sundays called Color Street Science with Kyle. So let me explain a little bit what I'm talking about here. So a little bit of background. My husband's name is Kyle and he is a chemical engineer. He very much enjoys when he gets to do true chemistry. So when I first started Color Street a couple weeks ago, he told me that he was okay with it, but he wasn't going to get involved. This was not his thing. He didn't want to get involved with it. I understood. It's not his thing. It's mine. But along the process, I stumbled across something that got him a little more interested, and he's kind of been a little more involved since that moment. So what happened to get me started on this, and this video is just kind of an introduction of what I'm talking about, is within the first couple of days of me doing Color Street, one of my coworkers who's been very supportive bought one of the first items I had in stock, like on me, not through the internet. So I, being new to this, kind of was coaching her how to do it and everything, one of my first coaching experiences. And I told her, you know, I usually do a top coat on top of mine. And the reason why I do that is because it makes them last longer through my experience. I seem to get 2 weeks out of them rather than like a week and a half. So I explained her how to do it and I told her, you know, I usually wait an hour to an hour and a half because I'm very paranoid. I don't want any bubbling. I've only had that happen once to me, which is on my thumbnail, and it wasn't really a big deal. But I've heard about bubbling. I've never, I had never seen it to this point, but I'm paranoid, so I usually wait an hour. But I told her everything I read said you can do 30 minutes to an hour because these take about 20 minutes to fully cure. So not knowing completely what that meant at the time, I told her, 30 minutes should be fine. So she went home, she put them on. She said she put the clear, she did her and her daughter's nails, and after that she put her clear coat on around the 30-minute mark. She said they looked gorgeous. They were pretty. She loved them. And then she went to bed, and when she woke up in the morning, they were a disaster. And she came to work and she said, Ashley, what did I do wrong? And she showed them to me and I was just horrified. They were like, the top part of the clear coat was patchy. It was like matte and gloss at the same time. And there were some bubbles in it. And I just looked at them and I kind of understood it. For those of you who don't know me, I originally had went to school to be a mechanical engineer. So I, have taken quite a bit of chemistry and physics classes throughout the year. So I kind of understood, what happened there, but not completely. I didn't graduate with my degree. I've taken classes, but I didn't fully understand the chemical process that was going on there. So I knew it had something to do with the clear coat automatically. So I went and got my clear coat and I put it over, and that patchy part that was part gloss, part matte, smoothed everything out. So, they looked a lot better. There was still some bubbling, but it didn't look horrible. It was 90% better. It was doable. So I felt really bad, and I ended up splitting one of my sets with her. So anyway, when I came home, I said, let me talk to my husband and see what happened so we can avoid that in the future. So I went home and I said, Kyle, this is what happened today. What happened? Like, what did I tell her wrong to do? So he said, okay, well, what are the ingredients? I said, well, let's look it up. Color Street has a big reference library on their website. So I looked it up and it had, big paragraph of ingredients. I knew some of the chemicals. I didn't know others. Some of them are chemicals he actually uses at work. So he was very familiar with them. So he found the one ingredient that has to do with the drying process. And I will get into that on my first video. That's what it's going to be about, is how Color Street dries versus regular nail polish. So that's what the first video is going to be over. So he starts breaking down the different chemicals in there, and he starts getting really excited because some of them are cool that he wouldn't expect to be in there. Some of them are stuff he used at work. So he really started explaining it. I said, whoa, wait. I can't absorb all of this information. So he told me exactly what had happened with my coworker. And I said, I want to know more about these ingredients, and I know that some people out there probably do too. Maybe not everybody is interested in the science behind it, but some people are, and some people want to know what's in them. I know that I was interested in it. So anyway, this video series is going to be me taking each ingredient that they have in there and breaking it down with science. Some of this might get a little corny. But I want to kind of give you the science part of it and also give you, you know, the normal English everyday language. So I might get a little sciencey for the normal everyday person, but I will break it down to what that actually means. I'm going to show you what the chemical is, how it's applied in Color Street. There are a few things that I might have to do more research because we couldn't quite figure out what it did. And I want to tell you other ways in the world that it's used. So there were a couple really cool ones that are used in really interesting things. So I'm going to break down kind of those three things of the chemical elements, how the chemical reactions work in some cases, and that's what this video series is going to be about. So if that's something you're interested in, I'm going to try my best to do every Sunday. I probably won't make it every single Sunday if I have a really busy weekend, but the first video I'm going to do is about drying times and which chemical component helps the Color Street to go from 90% dry to that last 5% in 20 minutes, which is pretty cool. So tune in with me if that's something you're interested in. If not, you can just skip over the video if it's not for your thing. Feel free to ask me questions in the comments if you want a little more elaboration. Me and Kyle will try to answer the best we can. I will try to get Kyle on the camera at some point, but I can't make any promises. He's not a camera guy. So anyway, thank you guys and stay tuned. I will get that first video out as soon as I can.